Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Shore. This is my daughter, Robin.
Hi, everyone.
And today we are going to invite you on a little journey. It is in the adventures of Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Now, it's a chilly day out, so meatloaf is perfect. It's comfort food. It's easy to do. There's 50 ways of doing it. There's no really wrong way. You can put as much stuff in it as you like or as little as you like. Now, I typically do, I got 4 pounds of hamburger. This will do a couple of loaves and maybe a little extra. And what I do is I divide it into 2 because I'm doing for my wife, one of them, because she doesn't like anything.
She just wants the meat.
Yeah, she
Give her the
likes
meat and the ketchup.
A meatloaf means emphasis on the meat part of it. You know? Yeah. And so she likes a little bit of the onions and the garlic and stuff like that. So I add that to everything. Then I divide it out and make hers, and then I start putting all the other stuff that everybody else likes in the other. So we'll show you now. It's the simplest thing to do. You'll have the ingredients probably right in your refrigerator. Like for instance, I use this kind of prepared. Well, this is stovetop. Okay, so it's got herbs and stuff in it, which actually gives it a little bit
more
of extra
flavor.
Yeah, more flavor. But you can use just crumbed up crackers or
breadcrumbs,
dried breadcrumbs, that sort of thing as a filler. And part of what that does, it adds flavor to it, but it captures some of the juices that are in the meat as it cooks, and it keeps it in there and makes it moist and all that sort of thing. But what I like to do, and I've already got this stuff prepared, as you can see, and I've just chopped it up. This is onions and garlic. Now we'll saute these things, and that'll drive a little bit of the moisture out, and it'll reduce a little bit, and it'll make it so that it's more compatible while cooking in the meat. But that's 1 full onion, and I don't use these Vidalias and these sweet onions. If I want something sweet like that, I'll eat an apple. I like something that makes me emotional when I'm cutting it up. Okay, I like to weep, while I'm cutting up my onions.
No, I'm like the put the goggles on kind of person. Cannot.
A little hazmat suit, yeah. Rubber gloves and everything. And then the garlic is I've chopped up about 4 or 5 fat cloves. And then I've got stoplight peppers. If you know what stoplight peppers are, they got the red, yellow, and I guess the green's not in there, but this is
the orange.
Red, yellow, and orange. And that just gives it a little bit of color. It's identical in flavor to just the typical green ones that you have, the green bell peppers. And then I've got chopped mushrooms. Sometimes I'll put even chopped up nuts in it. I'm not going to do it in this one, but sometimes I put raisins in it. There's all sorts of different things you can put into the meatloaf to suit your flavor. I used to do pureed carrots. You take a piece of a carrot, puree it, or chop it up real fine and put it in a meatloaf. That gave it a little bit of extra texture, and it also sweetens it. But I don't do that anymore. What I do to sweeten it, I'll take maybe just a little pinch of brown sugar, and if there's anything that forms acid in the cooking, this will sort of neutralize it and gives a little bit of sweetness. And then I'll make a glaze. The glaze goes on later, though, see? And the glaze is typically brown sugar and ketchup, and we'll do that in just a little bit. And that goes on at the very end of it. And I'm just maybe getting ahead of myself trying to explain all this stuff.
Let's cook it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we'll start off by sauteing. I'll saute this and these separately. Now, I've added salt and pepper in here, too. And that's one of those things that's to taste. You don't have to put the salt in there. Typically, if you cooking meat with salt, it will toughen the meat, but that doesn't apply to this. It only applies to pan fried stuff. Okay, so we'll saute this. I'll saute this separately, and we'll add it on differently later on. If you're using butter to saute, butter will scorch and smoke. all by itself. So you add a little bit of, this is canola oil, which I don't even know. What is a canola?
I don't know.
I know what a cannoli is,
Yeah,
but
that's not it.
that's not it.
Now,
Anyway,
could you just do olive oil?
yes, you could do olive oil if you prefer, but canola oil is one of those not hydrogenated, whatever, trans, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good stuff to use too, if you're concerned with that. Since we tried it, but I use olive oil a lot too. And I'll tell you what, one of the benefits of cooking like this is the aroma. It just makes
Oh yes, it smells so good. Cooked onions is the best smell.
Yeah, garlic and onions. You can't beat it. The only thing that would add to it is chocolate and peanut butter. Okay, I'll do something else too.
Okay, I'll manage this. Oh, okay.
What I do, I always add some Worcestershire sauce.
Why is that so hard to say?
I don't know.
Worcestershire.
I've heard it said like a dozen different ways.
I know.
And Worcestershire, where do they get Worcester out of that? Huh?
Well, how do you say it?
I say Worcestershire sauce.
No, you don't. Worcestershire.
Okay. Worcestershire, okay. I just put a little bit.
That is a good flavoring.
A couple of squirts in there. A lot of people add it to the meatloaf while they're
Oh
mixing,
yes, that's what I do usually in the meat. Yeah.
But this works too, and it sort of imparts some of that flavor into the into the onions and stuff that you're sautéing. This will cook down, and where you want to take it off of the heat is when when the onions start getting sort of I don't know,
translucent.
Yeah, translucent.
I read a lot of recipes, so I know that.
That's a good way of putting it. Translucent. Like that, see, and it flips it over. But you have to be careful or you end up wearing it.
Okay? Yes, that's not a requirement. I think you can just stir it with your spoon.
At the end of cooking, the less food you have on you is the better off you are. Yeah, there we go. So,
I'll manage
finish that. And
I won't be doing any flipping. I'm just going to stir it.
You can't flip?
No.
Okay. So the ingredients here, hamburger. Now, I use hamburger that is not the leanest, not the best, not the high, not the anything. It's just plain. I think might be ground chuck. I don't know, but anyway, it's 80-20. That's the ratio of the meat to the fat that's in it. You want some fat in it because that's really where the flavor is imparted. And I'm going to put this in the bowl here and start breaking it up a little bit. It's going to be all mixed all together, so we want to start out by just playing in it like that. Okay. Pardon me?
Can you sculpt something like that?
I could. What would you like? Want a Santa face or something?
Yes.
Okay, and I usually use 2 eggs for 1 loaf, and here I've got basically 2 loaves, so I'm going to use 3 eggs. These are jumbo-sized eggs anyway, so I think 3 will be enough. This serves as kind of a binder. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have washed my hands thoroughly with soap, as has Robin.
Yes.
That's the first step of any cooking that you do. Removing jewelry is kind of optional. I do because I get my hands in it, and I don't want to lose my jewelry. One thing, but you never know what's going on with the jewelry. So, smart thing to do is take the jewelry off, but that's up to you. Okay, the next thing I want to put in here is the filler. This is the, I don't know if I'm allowed to say stove top, but one of the things that makes you happy in a happy kitchen is a sharp knife. Keep your knives razor sharp. It makes doing it. Now, I'm not one of these cooks that when they're chopping up something, it's like, I've tried that before, okay? And I've got several scars to prove it. That takes practice, so I'm a little bit more gingerly with it, but get the job done. Okay, I will very carefully apply the filler. Okay, and I like to clean as I go. Actually, if you're an artist and you like to use oils or alkyds or something like that, those meat trays are terrific mixing trays. You know, you clean them all up and wash them up real good. I save them periodically to do just that. Okay, now we're going to put ketchup and we're going to put a little bit of mustard. I didn't get it out. A little bit of mustard. You know, back when before they started doing this, they had a little red top on the mustard. You take the red top off and it'd be ready to go. I was out on a camping trip with some friends of mine one time, and they had just come out with these things without the red top on it, okay? But I didn't know that. So I got the mustard, and we're making hamburgers, and nothing's coming out, and I'm squeezing like mad. All of a sudden, the cap comes off, and it was like a bomb went off. And sitting around, we were all just absolutely covered with mustard. They still talk about that. So, but we don't use very much, okay? But before you do the mustard or the ketchup, shake it up, because for some reason they have watered down the product over the years, and so first squirt you get nothing but water. Okay, I'm going to be scientific about this, and I'm going to add a little less than a cup. I've got probably, I usually just dump it in. I don't even look, but I mean, for the sake of, accuracy, something like that. But I also do something that other people don't typically do, and it really adds a lot to it. I add a little bit of salsa.
I've never done that.
It's got tons of flavor in it. It's got peppers. It's got all sorts of good stuff, and it's fine enough and tasty enough that Jan even likes it. Okay? So she gets all these peppers and stuff and doesn't even know it. Put that in there. Okay, and then very scientifically add just the right amount of mustard, like that. And we are ready. Oh yeah, and then just a little bit of brown sugar. That's probably a little less, maybe a tablespoon or so. That goes in there, a little bit more. And then also just a little shot.
I think we can lay out a recipe at the end of this too.
What?
We can type up the recipe.
Of course
we
will.
With it.
We always do. Just a little bit of, I'm using almond milk because I like to use almond milk, but you can use cow milk if you want to. I just put a little bit of, just a little dash of that, just like that in there. And now we mix it up. Now, what I typically do is I just get in there with my hands and just have a ball doing that. But if you don't like to get your hands in the meat, you can take just a paddle. I've got a better one somewhere. Maybe this one. And you can mix this up, and it takes a while. But if you just start doing like this, get it cut up like that, and then start turning it over. just take a hunk of it like that and just turn it over like that. Okay? And then just keep going around and around like that. And pretty soon it will be all mixed up.
Now, can you overwork meat, or is there only certain meats that you can?
They say you can overwork meatloaf, and that's only because people generally pack their meatloaf in the pan too densely.
Okay.
Now, you'll see that once we get this everything evenly distributed in the meat, the way I put it in the pan makes a big difference as to how it comes out. Okay, let's see, we've got the onions right.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and put those in. Just dump them right in there. Now they might still be hot.
Yeah.
So don't touch them immediately. I love this part of it.
I do not enjoy that at all. So we're going to separate them, and then we're going to just put them in the pan. That's it, right?
That's it, Robin. Then we'll make up the glaze. Mm-hmm. And the way the glaze goes on, you cook this stuff. Now, the way I do it, different people do it differently, okay? Some people do not use pans. They simply form it into a, like a thing like that onto a pan, and that's that, The person who is on the smart side of the camera, Dominique, so that's the way she does it, okay? But I like to use the pan, but what I do is I'll cook it in the pan for approximately 35 to 45 minutes till it's cooked pretty, the beginnings of being totally cooked. Firm enough, I will then invert it, remove the pan onto a sheet.
That's a good idea.
And then that way, the crunchy stuff and the cooked stuff is not just on the top, but it's all over the place. Then I will put them back in the oven and start that. And then a little bit, maybe 10 or so minutes before I want to take it off, finally, that's when I will put the glaze on, because you want the glaze to cook and be part of the meatloaf, but you don't want it to become leathery.
Right.
And too much time in the oven with that kind of stuff will make it leathery. Same way with cheese toppings,
Right.
So I have put cheese actually in meatloaf too, but by the way.
I put cheese in my turkey meatloaf.
Yeah, there you go. Turkey and cheese.
I don't really know why it told me to, so I did.
What kind of cheese do you use?
Provolone.
Good choice. Provolone or
Swiss.
Monterey.
Maybe it's Swiss. I think I just use whichever one I have. But.
Monterey Jack is a good choice. Okay, I think we just about got this pretty consistently. So we very carefully, and once again, scientifically.
Yeah.
Area.
Half it in.
Yeah. Looks kind of like a brain, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. See, this is smart food. Okay, here we go. Now, to put this into the loaf, and I'm going to use this one. I won't just plop it in there. I kind of break it up as I put it in. There we go. So that, and then I just sort of shape it around so it gets everything. Now that is ready to
go in the oven.
Go in the oven. Okay, here we go. The door, please. The oven, by the way, was preheated at 350. Is this fine or what?
Yeah, looks like it. I'd make meatloaf all the time if I didn't have to do that part.
You don't do this part?
No, I do. I don't enjoy it though.
Maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, now, same way, sort of just trickling it in here. This is a good pan. If you see one of these pans, get one, because
I've never seen that.
Well, what happens is it's got the center part. It just lifts right out. Real easy. A lot of times, by the way, I have greased these pans. You can grease it with anything. You can grease it with butter, with lard, with I happen to use the same canola oil that I used before, just to give it a little bit of slick, and because you'll want to be taking it out without it, sticking.
Now we're gonna let those cook for, what'd you say, 50 minutes, and then come back and do the glaze.
We're going to let them cook for about 35 to
35?
45,
Okay.
firm enough to where I can take them out and turn them upside down.
Oh, that's right.
So we'll have maybe a little left over, which I will do something else with. I might do it like you suggested. Rhonda made a beautiful suggestion earlier, and that is to make the meatloaf into like what cupcake tins, right? And then she can freeze them. See?
Yes. If your whole family doesn't eat it, that's a lot of meat to go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, we have a lot around here, so we never throw it away. It always gets eaten. Because why we have 13 grandchildren who are like, they descend on the house like a swarm of locusts. And anything that's consumable, they consume. That includes meatloaf. Okay, everybody loves the meatloaf.
All right. Well, we are going to let that cook, and then we're going to come back and do the glaze with everyone, correct?
Okay, let me get this off my fingers.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you back then.
Let's put this in, Robin.
Yes.
And we'll see you in about 45 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Are we doing it now?
We're doing it.
And we're live and we're talking and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what are we doing here?
Back in the saddle. Okay, one thing we want to do is we will have accumulated some unwanted grease that comes out of the meat, so we will pour that off. I'm going to pour it right into a bowl in the sink.
All the fat kind.
Okay, there we go. And then we will, just like that.
Meatloaf isn't the most appetizing looking thing, but it is so yummy.
Okay, now this. Okay,
You need ketchup, right?
I do need ketchup. See how nice that did? Okay, now I will
What else? Just ketchup?
ketchup and the brown sugar
Yeah.
there. I'm so happy that didn't screw up. 'Cause
Me too.
it can do that. Sometimes it breaks apart, and that's not a good thing. Okay, now this is your mama's, so we're going to leave it alone. She doesn't like the glaze. She
ketchup?
does not like the
Oh,
glaze
I
on
can't
it.
believe that.
She'll put a whole plate
Just
full
ketchup.
of ketchup,
Yeah.
and that's the way she does. Okay.
And how much of this sugar? Brown sugar? Or you just
This is
eyeballing it?
this is one of those things where you have to be very precise.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go.
Okay, so about a
Well,
quarter of a cup to a half a cup.
um,
Got it.
about this much plus that much.
Yeah. Looks
Okay.
like half a cup to me.
Okay, and then we do,
Okay, another
and then
half a cup. Mix it up. What are you looking for?
hold on,
Oh, some
a little bit of
spice.
sherry will do.
Okay, so I'm mixing because I got bored.
Okay, just a little touch of that. There we go. Mix that in.
Good to go?
I think we need just a little bit more sugar.
Okay.
Needs to be just a little bit thicker. Now, on something like this, you don't need to cook it with cornstarch like you would, let's say, a glaze on a ham,
Mm-hmm.
because it's thick enough and it'll stay in put. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna spread that on there and put it back in the oven for 10 minutes, 15 minutes? What?
We're gonna spread that on there and put it back in the oven for about another 15 minutes. There we go. All 5 sides. Huh?
Yeah.
And then
In the oven.
back in the oven.
Okay.
And we'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, everybody, we're back. Moment of truth.
Didn't burn it.
I hope not. We'll see. We'll just see.
Well,
what,
nothing's smoking, so we're good.
We'll just see what we got here.
Looks good.
That is exactly the way it's supposed to look. Don't forget to turn off your oven. And
Right.
we're gonna try a little bit of it right now. Now, did I say that happiness was a sharp knife? Happiness is a sharp knife. They could do a song about that.
We should.
Which one you
I
want?
don't know what the whole song will be. I don't care.
Uh-oh.
Is your knife sharp?
Okay. Let's kind of fall apart. Which is not a bad thing, actually. You want it kind of crumbly.
Moment of truth.
Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Cheers. That's good.
That couldn't be better.
The glaze is my favorite.
I mean, the glaze is wonderful. The meat is tender. It's full of all kinds of stuff. This is a meal all by itself.
Oh yeah. Got your veggies in there, your protein.
You got everything.
All right.
Meat and vegetables. Got a little bit of poultry.
Yeah.
A little bit of dairy. A little bit of that European stuff, you know, that Worcestershire sauce, whatever that is. And so it's really good. It's to me, it's perfect. It's, like I said, it's a little bit crumbly, but that's what you want. You want this stuff to be light and fluffy like this. You don't want, you go into some restaurants even, and it's like bringing out a brick, you know. They don't use a knife, they use a saw. And you don't want that. You want this. I wish we could share it with you because it is absolutely dynamite.
Well, let's
Okay.
go enjoy it.
Yeah. And so yeah, do your own, and you know, play around with it, modify it. You know, as you saw what we were doing, a little bit of something, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You, as far as the filler is concerned, you can do it real simple, or you can do it with everything under the sun, and there's no wrong way. So try it yourself. You'll love it. Enjoy it, and we will see you again next time with maybe something else. Bye for now.
Bye.